Alright, this is Big Boss, it's Foxhound Woodsball, coming to you from Fort Lauderdale, and this is going to be our third installment of Tactical Paintball 101, and today we're going to be talking hydration systems. Now, hydration systems come in all shapes and sizes, and for various needs and desires as far as personal aesthetics, and it also depends upon what kind of game you're playing and stuff like that. If you're playing Outlaw Ball, it's probably one of the most vital components next to air and paint. Now, I've got a few items here as far as this series goes. I'm going to be discussing a little bit about each item as it pertains to the whole hydration system deal, and we'll go on from there. First off, your classic USGI issue canteen. I've had this particular one for almost 9 years now, since my days in JROTC doing their summer leadership at Camp Seminole up in Davie. Now, I digress, and as far as this canteen goes, this is an evolution off the original that was introduced to military service in 1910. It's also called a kidney bean shape, as you can tell by the bottom shape of the canteen that it resembles that of a kidney bean for obvious reasons. Originally, these came out in solid steel with a chain connecting the cap to the canteen, and that's been in military service for both World Wars and Korea. Now, when we were going to Vietnam and the introduction of the LC2 Alice gear, the plastic ones became standard issue. And that's all she wrote on this, though I will note these things have evolved in several different incarnations. You've had a collapsible plastic version. I've got the link somewhere in my system. I'll post the link into the description of this video and on to my blog page at outerheavenpaintball.blogger.com, so feel free to check that out in your spare time. Now, with the upgrades that have been done here, as far as like the collapsible version, there's also modifications to the cap in particular to allow use with the canteen straw kit, which is similar to the hydration bladder line that I'll be discussing later on in this video, as well as the implementation of a system to drink this while wearing a gas mask. Other than that, this is solid, sturdy, and if maintained properly, cleaning it out and all that, you can get a very good length of service life out of these canteens. Moving on, your basic canteen cup. This fits directly into the canteen. Well, the canteen fits perfectly in here for storage when you're moving. Now, the original ones had an underfolding canteen cup handle, and that was good, but it kept collapsing and everything, so at some point they decided to do a changeover to this particular model. As you can see, it folds out pretty good. Now, this is good for a variety of stuff when you're camping or in your campgrounds after a long day on the scenario field. You could use it as a cup as implied, or you can also use it for cooking. You can put this against direct heat, or with a burner setup that I'm not sure about, but I'll try to figure that one out later on. But other than that, I remember using this in an Outlaw game several years back, and me and the guys who do smoke on the team, we put some dirt in it and used it as a improvised ashtray for a bit throughout our day. Now, that goes to show that there are a wide variety of uses for this particular cup, so I'll post a link to this too. So, moving on, your basic GI canteen cover. This thing in particular is the LC2 version. Originally, when these came out at the same time as the canteen cup, there was a little tab with a metal bar on here. It's supposed to clip into the holes as would be on this GI pistol belt that's on the vest behind me. That was good, but certain issues arose, and use in the field would damage the threading on it, tear it off, fall off. So when the implementation of Alice gear came in, it was replaced with this particular version, which has these two metal clips on here to go on the pistol belt. Now, there's a story I heard a couple years back about special forces units in Vietnam. They took these canteen pouches and they put magazines in here. Now, I don't have any mags to test this little theory out, but for those who are real steel shooters and into this kind of stuff, if you could post a response video to that, that would be much appreciated. Now, give me one more second and let me grab a fast little demo piece. Alright, now we're back, and this is going to tie into our Tactical Paintball 101 video as our budget baller idea of today. Now, when I was doing paintball in like 2006, 2007, I didn't have that much gear to my name or any of the high-end stuff at that point. Now, I began running remote lines with my tipmans, and with that being said, I didn't have a bottle pouch such as this black cell one on my vest, so I had to improvise. I used the LC2 canteen pouch like this one, and I was able to fit a 16-ounce CO2 bottle in here. This particular setup's rigged up to a Alice Tamale adapter, as is this one, and generally speaking, this holds up pretty good. I wouldn't recommend it for the hardest paintball play, but if you're doing like a quick one-game rec ball, it should hold up pretty good. I would say that it's just a stopgap solution until you can get more effective equipment, such as the bottle pouch that's made for it, like this one, or a Molly pouch that works more effectively. And give me 1 second as I move on to the rest of our tactical paintball video for today. Okay, I've discussed canteens, I've discussed a little bit about all that stuff, and finally we're on to this. This is a hydration bladder for all intents and purposes. Filled water into it, drink out of this piece. It's pretty much all she wrote about that. This stuff began coming around as standard issue for the military in about, I would say mid 2001 to early 2002, somewhere around that area. And for this thing has been proven to be very effective out in combat, and has all but eliminated the canteens as far as hydration methods. And because of its unique design and this being a bag, that means you get rid of the sloshing that you would have with the older solid plastic canteens if they're half full. But something like this can only hold 2 liters, and that's been somewhat of an issue, especially for those who are operating out in desert environments. I know some of us players like to go to Badlands every time they have their scenario. So as far as the hydration bladder goes, for me personally, I play in Florida. I'm playing in subtropical areas. I live within a 3-hour drive of the Everglades. That is the closest I want to be to a swamp, high heat, very humid. And believe me, for those who do play in those type of environments, as well as arid, desert-like areas, water's pretty much an essential thing. So one idea, you either could have the hydration bladder, you can have the canteens, or as this setup, I've got my Black Cell operative vest, I got my Camelback loaded up, and I supplemented that with the canteens on each side. This way, depending upon how long I'm out there in the field, I have plenty of access to water right here on my person,
And in the event that another player gets heat exhaustion, heat stroke, I'll be able to get to them and get them hydrated, prevent them from having a heat stroke. So, that being said, something like this, I would recommend the canteen straws for the caps. And as I said earlier in this video, I will be posting links to some of that stuff in the description to this video. So, that's pretty much it for this installment of Tactical Paintball 101. You can read a written version breaking it down on outerheavenpaintball.blogger.com. And don't forget to like us on Facebook. I'll post links in the description of this video. And this is Big Boss. I'm out of here.